are now in the second month of war with Iran, and the Trump administration now considering a ground operation to protect the Strait of Hormuz.
ABC's Olivia Rubin reports on the buildup of U.S. forces in the Middle East.
Overnight, the first American troops reaching the Middle East, and President Trump still not ruling out a ground invasion in Iran.
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of, the power.
Negotiations with Iran underway as the war enters its fifth week. Now, Trump saying there could be a deal soon before tamping down expectations moments later.
I would only say that we're doing extremely well in that negotiation, but you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up.
Overseas, the first U.S. ground troops arriving, 3,500 sailors and Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, equipped with transport and strike fighter aircraft and amphibious assault capabilities. A second Marine unit expected to arrive in the region in May. And another 1,500 soldiers from the Army's elite 82nd Airborne also preparing to deploy. Those troops trained to parachute behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, dangerous blasts around the region. This video showing the aftermath of an Iranian missile attack at an industrial site in southern Israel. And these videos showing first responders searching through rubble in Tehran. Nearby, several buildings at a university also damaged. Iran now vowing to retaliate for what it says are Israel's strikes on universities, saying all American universities in the region are now fair game. And now Pakistan, which sources tell ABC has been acting as an intermediary between the United States and Iran, announcing that talks are set to happen in the coming days, though neither side confirming. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Shalom. And all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak Fadash, and double honor to our apostles, elders, and bishops here at Great Millstone for teaching this truth that's going all around the earth. And shalom to the hopeful elect out there. It's your brother Atazawan. We're going to go through a very quick lesson. I put those two or three news clips together, all right, to show some of the latest news out there, all right, as far as what Babylon, the leader of Babylon the Great, says he's doing, has done, and will do, and to take a look at some of the preparation by the other nations that claim that they're going to help Iran if Babylon the Great, if the U.S. troops come in there, you see. And so we look at these things as they put them out in the daily news, all right. We scour the news to make these lessons, right, to warn, first and foremost, the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right, and then to warn all the rest of you people out there, you 2/3, you other nation people, as a whole, all right, so that you can understand that the great power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right, is ruling in this world, and he's visiting this world as he said that he would. Now, though this may not be the end, as it were, but it is the beginning of the end and the beginning of the sorrows that will hit this place, all right, up until that point of the nuclear war that will come, that war in heaven, that World War III, if you will, all right, and the return of Yahweh Shai, right, to gather his elect. And this will be real brief. So when we look at it, people get stirred up and say, well, it's this person, it's that person, that's causing these problems, and Trump this and DJ Trump that, and so on and so forth. No, Proverbs 21:1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So when it comes to all of these so-called leaders, these world leaders, these prime ministers, these principal people, all right, throughout the earth, it is really the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, who's turning their hearts to make them do what they're doing. Okay, so Trump is nothing more than a puppet, right? Not only a puppet of maybe the elites, but also a puppet of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it goes for all those men, all right, because this is going down for the controversy of Zion, as the scriptures tell you, all right. But these things were already spoken of in advance through Ezra the prophet, and then also Yahushai while he was on the scene, all right. We'll just grab one precept from it. You know, you can find it in Mark, you can find it in Matthew, and here in Luke as well. I just happen to pull this one out of Luke. All right, and we'll read it quickly. It's Luke 21:7, and it says, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be, and what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass, right? Knowing that his return is near, what can we look for? All right, and it says in verse 8, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and the time, Salakia, and the time draweth near, go ye not therefore after them. Right? You're supposed to keep your eyes single once you have this truth and understand that this truth is a representation of Yahweh Shai, right? Because it is him, it is his word. He is the word. You see, verse 9, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, and that's what you're hearing now, and you've heard them for many, many years, right? There have been many skirmishes out there, all right? But as we see, this is heating up pretty good, all right? But we'll see how the Lord plays it out, all right? Because you had World War I, World War II, right? You had, even going further back than that, Civil War, Spanish-American War, right? The two world wars. You had Korean War, right? Vietnam. You had Iraq, Afghanistan conflicts, so on and so forth, all throughout the years. I think it's been said that, you know, Babylon the Great has had a war every 20 years or so, you know, because war is money, quite frankly, you see. Going on, not to get off track here, but when ye, verse 9 again, but when ye shall hear wars and commotions, be not terrified, right? So the elect of the Lord is not afraid of the things that we see in the news. Those that are afraid are those who are not in the know, all right? Though you see most common people now beginning to voice their concerns and their complaints, right, as to who voted for what, MAGA, all that other stuff, you know, which really is just part and parcel of what Yahweh Shem Yahushai is doing, all right? Be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by, right? So it's not the end as of yet, but it is a sign and indicators of the return of Yahushai, all right? As it says here, things what to come. Then said he unto them, verse 10, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven, right? So we just recently, you know, we coming through the Passover, and I think there was a pink moon, and then some weeks ago there was, as they said, some meteors that fell, you know, hitting certain places. So signs and wonders and effects, all right, are in the earth. And these are things that the elect are watching for, okay? Let's go over here to 2nd Ezra chapter 9, and it reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So when you see these uproars of the people, when you begin to see the system fall apart, when there are earthquakes, right, which there are earthquakes every day. They just don't report on them unless they're a huge magnitude, okay? Signs in the heavens, okay? The people are being perplexed, okay? You have all of these things happening, and the scriptures tell you that that's the Lord, you know, beginning to visit this place which he made, you see? Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right, as we just said, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? So as Yahweh Shai said, the end is not by and by, but that doesn't mean that the end isn't coming, right? And it's coming to the end of this man's rulership. You see, not the earth in and of itself, right? But the rulership will end, right? And a righteous kingdom to be set up under Yahweh Shai. Verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings in effects and signs, you see. So in the effects and signs will give you your indication, all right, that you are about to exit this world as you know it, all right, and for the world that's to come behind it, all right. Verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved, right, and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith. So you have to have both, right? So these are signs, the effects of signs is to tell the elect to prepare yourself, okay? All right, so that as it says in verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, right? And so the elect are the true believers that are in the earth today, regardless to where you live physically, all right, whether it be in Canada or South America or North America, all right, you got the elect that is scattered over in the lands of what they call Europe, right, Asia, so on, Philippine Islands, okay, the Caribbean, all right. So these signs and effects, you know, are indicators for the elect, as well as the other nation people. They don't understand the truth, but they know something is going on, all right? Let's go over here quickly over to Joel 3:1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, and I'll also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, right? So the Israelites are the Lord's chosen people, right? His heritage, not those people over there in their land. Those are Khazars, Amalekites, all right? They're not the true people, okay? Because the real true people of the Lord wouldn't even have an army in this day. Yet they have an army. They have all types of, they have a nation that's backing them up and so on. They have all types of help, right? But the real children were scattered to the four corners of the earth and without an army, right? There'd be nobody to come in, with it, as one scripture says in Deuteronomy, there'd be no might in our hands, you see? So they can't quite possibly be the real people, all right? We have to reiterate that over and over again, you know, so that we get it through your heads, all you unbelievers out there, which, I mean, you're an unbeliever anyway. You ain't believe nothing that the scriptures say anyway. But the point being is our job to keep telling the world, as it were, all right, to catch the ear, to be fishermen and catch the ear of the elect, okay? So that through the Spirit, you know, the Lord will quicken you and wake you up, all right? Verse 2 again, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right, see? So the Israelites are scattered abroad. Now you have some remnants of the true Israelites still over there, but, you know, by and large, you know, the nation of Israel is scattered all across the earth. Okay, and they parted our land, right? So you have really, even when it comes to those known as the Palestinian people, you know, that's not their land either, but they were there before them Khazars got there, you see? Going on to verse 3, it says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre, Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border, right? Being sold into what you would call hardcore bondage or slavery. You see, verse 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head, right? For that controversy, right, of Zion. Okay, it's why you see what these things that are going on in the earth today, right? And we anticipate that they'll escalate, you know, but like we said, all things are in the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We'll see how he plays it out. We're just sitting back, taking the seat, all right? Now, as we do so, right, the Lord has given Israel watchmen, okay, to prepare you, to warn you, okay? We find that here in Ezekiel 33:1. And it reads, again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, which will be the Israelites, and say unto them, both northern kingdom, southern kingdom, right, Judah and Jerusalem, or Judah and Israel, as you see it. Okay? Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet that taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. So as prophets, as teachers, right, starting with our elders here at Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar on down, Elder Apostle Tahar on down, we are watchmen, all right, for the Lord to warn you of the dangers to come, all right? That's our job. And we're clearing our hands of the blood, all right, for all those who reject, you know, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you reject the truth, right? And here you are in the midst of seeing the fall of Babylon the Great, and you're puzzled as to what you're going to do, right? We've seen videos out there from TikTok and so on where, you know, women are talking about what they're overhearing by other men or speaking to other people about, well, when the shit hits the fan, we just gonna kick other people's doors in and just do what we want to do, and so on and so forth. That's the mentality that these YNs and these people of the street and, you know, just rogue ass niggas, that's their plan, is to take from those that already have, you see. But you're being warned now, you know, through the Spirit, through these video lessons and camp lessons and camp streams and so on and so forth. You know, you better take heed, okay? But I said all that to say that the watchmen are out, and just as we saw in these few news clips, all right, we report on the things that are out there, right? We filter everything through the scriptures to give to you in hopes that you get some understanding, right? And once again, we know that it's for the elect, all right? But we telling all right? All, even the 2/3 and all other nation people, the destruction that's on its way, all right? So we want to make sure that we're doing our jobs, okay? So pretty much that's it for the lesson. You know, Lord willing, it was edifying. You get something out of it, and we'll see you on the next lesson. Shalom.